as someone that went to jail. Like,
Absolutely.
What do you think of the whole like Andrew Tate situation? Like, do you think that's kind of messed up that he's like, do you think he's going to go to jail? Like, what do you think's going on? Like, have you followed that at all?
A little bit, yeah. So I think it's the same like issue that I have with criminal justice in general, where you have this like trial by media, right? So people don't like the guy, obviously.
That's why it kind of reminded me. Every once in a while, there's one where like it seems like the world's like, we don't like this guy, and then lo and behold, he's in jail soon.
It's really funny because like I lost this antitrust case, and it felt the entire time that logic didn't matter. Like it completely irrelevant. Like all of the like argument was like just irrelevant. We don't like you, you lose. And I think that's...
Was there a jury, or this was a judge?
This was a judge, yeah.
Could you get a jury or no?
We tried.
But like you couldn't
and they
say
said
like,
no.
we would like a jury.
We asked, yeah.
Yeah, but you
like,
can't say like...
So you just have some judge, you know she doesn't like you.
And so we that's what appeals courts are for, and we'll see how that goes. But
it's like you're like meeting with your like girlfriend's friend, and she knows you like fucked around a ton.
Totally, it's impossible.
That's what you feel like when you're in court.
It's impossible to win. Like, and there are some judges that are like, no, I'm going to be really sober about this, and I'm going to challenge myself to be impartial. And then there are judges that are like, and as you go into other courts, like you go into like a court in Wyoming where it's like the sheriff's cousin is the judge, and it's like, what the fuck do you think is going to happen? Like the judge is going to be like, I have to uphold the scruples of the law. No, there's
corrupt.
Yeah, well, it's not like somebody's paying somebody either. It's more like the point I'm trying to make is like they're human. Judges are human. They're almost supposed to not be human.
So now maybe corrupt in the sense that like, if someone applies for a job at your company and you like went to high school with him and it was like, we're your best friend, you're obviously just more inclined to give him the job. Like, is that corruption, or is that just like normal?
What if you're a judge and your son is a drug addict, and then you see a guy who's a drug dealer? I
guess the idea is they're supposed to set it up so you can't be his judge.
Well, they're supposed to be able to just have no bias.
And you can't be a human. I mean, you can't be a human and not meet somebody who's a drug addict.
AI judges?
No, I'm saying that.
Why are you working on that company?
Like, or something.
Well, the jury, they go, if you know this guy, you can't be on the jury. So the judge should have the same thing.
Yeah, they should. But, ultimately, like, drug addictions, you've met somebody in your life that's been affected by it. And then all of a sudden you get...
I see. Oh, yeah, you might not even know that specific guy.
Oh, yeah, no, it has to, it's just like a son, a cousin, or something.
Sorry, I thought you meant his actual son.
No, and you're like...
I was taking it too literally.
This asshole is why, this happens, and I need to... And you don't say that, but as a judge, even if it's subconscious, they did a study where they showed that judges after lunch give longer sentences than before lunch. So, like, it's... This, like, judges are... I met some great judges, I met some not so great judges. Ultimately, like... There are situations that occur in the legal world, like Andrew Tate, where people just obviously hate the guy. Like he's a bit of a dick. He's hilarious, in my opinion, but he's also like contemptible to so many people. So, like for example, they kicked him off social media without a specific
Instagram specifically too. Where
there's like, we just don't like you. Yeah, we just don't like you. Like you're done. And I think that's what you see here. And so they arrested him. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he's guilty or not, but like, it almost doesn't matter. Like when I was found, it's not a crime, but like I had this lawsuit over monopolization. I was the first person ever to be found to be a monopolist in America.
They'll find something.
They found, and it's like, and I'm like, well, no, why isn't Bill Gates or Mark Zuckerberg ever been called a monopolist? And they're like, well, just because we haven't gone after them in the past and you're the first guy doesn't mean like that there won't be a second guy and a third guy.
And lo and behold, there hasn't been a second or third guy.
It's just one of those things, and I think it's quite unfair that that's the way the world works.
I think there is an element. I said it before, but I think there's an element where he was very much thumbing his nose at Romania, being like, they're so corrupt. That's why I live there, because it's just corrupt.
He has been saying that.
He's saying so much of it, and they go like, okay, we'll show you.
That messes up our
they're like,
status.
okay, we're going to show you how corrupt we are. We're going to throw you in jail for 4 months without charges. Some bullshit.
Albania has, my family's from Albania. We have sort of a similar dynamic out there where it's like 20% of the economy is black market. But if you talk about it, that's not good.
Of course.
Right?
Okay, we'll let this happen, but yeah, stop. You can't be like, probably weed was like that for a while. It was like, yeah, you can have your kind of like weed show.
Or like the brown bag, like alcohol. Like they're just like, his whole thing is they're like, okay, we let you move here. Obviously he's like an EU citizen, but he moved there and then starts talking shit about the place he moved to. And they're like, you're not even from here.
Okay.
Like
so that's
you're like living here talking shit about this place. And they're just like, yeah, we are that. Everybody knows that. And,
Yeah.
I mean, they're like a former like Soviet country. Like, yeah.
And they're trying to maintain like our country. Our problem is that they won't let us in the EU.
Yeah.
And it's because it's like, oh, Albania's like the fucking scum of the earth in Europe, and it's a big battle. But like Romania's in the EU, and they're like, we don't want to be like seen as like refuge for fucking criminals and scumbags. Like, that's not a good thing.
And I guess that's his point too. Is he goes, this is an EU country, so it must need to abide by like the EU stuff. Right?
And if you look at the law book of any country, especially this one, it's like there's some fucking law in page 89 that's like, yeah, we can hold you fucking as long we want if we decide that we want to hold you. Like, and that's why we have Guantanamo Bay, and that's why
Yeah, I mean, there's a
Dude,
lot
I
of
watched
January
on
6th
the
people,
the cop shows I watch, which I bet you they're a little less crazy now, but it's like it always like just like blows my mind how much like all of these like military shows, it would be like in the guy, and the guy's like, I need a lawyer. You're like, oh, you think you get a lawyer? We'll take you to Guantanamo Bay right now. And they're like, it's almost like you think the United States government would be like, yo, stop telling people we do all this, because like they all are like pro military like shows,
No, in China you can't do that. So
do what? Yeah, you couldn't be like, hey, we'll just torture your family, and it's like then they high five kind of thing. And it's like the military music plays like good, another win for military. You're like, you guys are like, so this show's like bragging about like taking.
Yeah, in
all
China
the
would be like,
that.
we are gonna go give this person a fair trial.
yeah, exactly. They have
Everyone's high fiving like
Everyone's high five. How fair it was.
Fair trial. That was a
Really fair. Yeah.
What a fair trial we gave this person.
No, I'm gonna ask AI what the best way to torture somebody is when I go home. So. It'd be good for a TV.
Marry
script.
them. And